After the attack, I spent 7 months in Navy hospitals, recovering from my wounds and burns until I rejoined the fight for freedom on a new destroyer named the USS Coghlan, where I spent the rest of the war. Unlike the Arizona, which had a crew of over 1,500 on the day of the attack, the Coghlan carried a crew of less than 350. Often during the rest of the war, as the Coghlan would come into Pearl Harbor, I made it a point then, as I do now, to be on the railing and allow my thoughts and personal prayers to bring me home. I never told anyone on the Coghlan that I was an Arizona survivor, and the only way it was ever found out was when I was awarded my Purple Heart for being wounded during the attack, but that's another story. So now, getting back to your tour of the Arizona, and as you continue to look out the memorial windows on the left side, remember you are looking at the ship's forward and are almost directly above Gun Turret 2, with Gun Turret 1 just in front of it. This is exactly where the lucky bomb dropped that morning by a high-altitude enemy bomber. It happened directly in front of my battle station, and to the best of my memory, my crew and I heard a whoosh as the bomb approached, and then a clank as the bomb bounced off the Gun Turret 2 and continued on to penetrate the Arizona's armored decks, coming to rest and exploding near the ship's black powder magazine 4 decks below the main. All of which I have just explained took place directly in front of my battle station and to the right of where my crew and I were looking out into the harbor channel. The sound of the bomb dropping and then hitting the Arizona was very similar to hearing a car crash, with the sounds of metal being twisted and broken apart, becoming the only thing that I could hear, if only for a split second, from all the other noises of the attack. Everyone on the ship knew because of the noise that we had been hit really hard, but I don't think anyone had an idea that this was the straw that would send the Arizona to its grave. As this armor-piercing bomb continued downward, it finally came to rest and exploded very near the ammunition locker, which contained over 1 million pounds of black powder used for the Arizona's 14-inch guns. From there, the blast set off over 1.5 million gallons of Bunker C fuel that was used to run the ship, with the result being that the two blasts combined broke the Arizona in two and sent upward a fireball that consumed the ship's forward, killing most of the crew in the blink of an eye. My friend, Billy Mann's battle station, was holding the keys to unlock the black powder magazine, and that lucky bomb literally dropped into Billy's lap. From the same viewpoint, looking towards the Missouri from where you are standing, there was the USS West Virginia directly in front of us, and next to her, the USS Tennessee, both within 50 yards of our bow. In front of them, and on the channel side, was the USS Oklahoma, and then next to her, the USS Maryland, which was nearest to Ford Island. Leading Battleship Row was berthed the USS California at Quay F3. One of the things that I remember seeing from where I stood before the Arizona exploded was the USS Oklahoma, 2 ships in front of us, turning turtle, which means I saw it starting to roll over. Other than the Arizona, the Oklahoma suffered the greatest loss of life during the attack, as she was hit with up to 8 torpedoes, with an additional one coming from a mini-submarine which snuck into the harbor, with many of those trapped within its hull not being able to escape or be rescued, some living in a dark hell until Christmas Day, when they passed to another life. What took place was as bad as it could get, and has caused me many nightmares over the years. The blast and the fireball, coming up from the bottom of the Arizona, blew the 14-inch guns from gun turret number 1 completely off the ship and all the way over onto Ford Island, more than a quarter of a mile away. Salvaged after the attack, they were used again after having been reconditioned and were sent to the East Coast to replace one of the guns from a USS Nevada, who was by that time fighting the war in Europe for all of us.